Good morning, my name is Ariana DT, and my question is, to what extent has increased human connectivity between social platforms impacted the child sex trafficking industry in the United States since the rise of social media? My claim to this question is, increased human connectivity between social media platforms has increased the child sex trafficking industry in the United States since the rise of social media because of the following. Kids are easily manipulated. Social media makes it easier and faster for Johns, traffickers, and victims to connect, and it also makes it easier for the traffickers to hide. Like mentioned in the social media and the movement of ideas, the internet gives a platform for people to connect all throughout the world. As time goes on, it just becomes easier. My solution to this claim is to increase the average age parents allow kids to join social media. As you can see in the chart, the amount of kids only from the ages 2 through 11 online has grown detrimentally throughout the years. Stopping this will help create mature targets who are aware of the risks of social media. A child psychologist at the University of Alabama in Birmingham pointed out that children ages 6 through 12 develop the ability to think in concrete ways, and then between 12 to 18, they acquire the ability to think more abstractly. Some may not be able to since children think more concretely before adolescence, some may not be able to fully analyze the situations they may be getting themselves into when speaking to a stranger. Often, they see this as someone who cares for them when they are experiencing hardships in their lives with their families, but this is always hardly the case. Sex traffickers have no morals or sympathy towards these children, as well as the buyers themselves often do not know that they are engaging with minors and with children that are being sex trafficked. Often, traffickers are simply in it for the money and know that buyers are willing to pay anything. Minor victims of sex slavery are sold 10 through 15 times a day. A minor is sexually abused in the United States every 3 minutes, and there have been 5.4 million reports of child exploitations. There have been 5.4 million reports made to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The sex trafficking industry is a huge supply and demand industry. Without any demand, there would be no supply. There is an estimated $32 billion globally going into the sex trafficking industry. Sex trafficking with over 290 million just in Atlanta in the year 2014 and over 39 million in Denver. Every year, traffickers make $150 billion in profits from the trade of human trafficking alone. Women and girls, there are 71% women and girls trafficked, and 29% men and boys trafficked. 21 million victims worldwide, and 54% of them are sex trafficked. 38% are forced labor, and 8% are other purposes, including organ trafficking. Due to the huge supply and demand for children in the sex trafficking industry, if steps aren't taken to stop this industry, the industry will continue to be as successful as it is now. This graph shows the number of potential victims and the drastic increase between the years 2012 and 2017. This leads me to my counter-argument, which is that increasing the age parents allow kids to join social media is just not enough. 12.3 million through 27 million people are enslaved in forced or child labor, sexual servitude, and involuntary servitude at any given time, and 32 billion is made per year, which makes it the second largest criminal industry in the world. A possible solution is that parents must also monitor their kids' social media time. They must monitor screen times and their kids' privacy settings. They should take advantage of privacy controls and talk to their children about their online profiles. They should speak to their children about what they will see and what type of people they might encounter. They should also take advantage of the privacy settings in most social media platforms. This brings me to my limitations, and one of them is that parents may not always be properly informed about the risks of social media and the interactions that their kids may have. This is why it is important for parents to continuously monitor their kids' activities online and limit them. As the connectivity through social networks continues to grow, so does the sex trafficking industry in the United States. Thank you. What are your questions?
Sorry, I'm just scribbling down the time. All right, I do have 2 questions for you. First one, how did you select the strategies you used to gather information, and were they effective?
So before starting this, I knew that I needed to look into a lot of cases and I knew I would be reading more like organizational posts than articles and people who have been involved with trying to help people that have been sex trafficked. And that's mostly what I was looking for. I was using sources such as Polaris and just organizations that have helped people in the past that have been sex trafficked. And it was effective because it gave me a lot of videos, it gave me a lot of like first accounts of what goes on in the world and what they have found through their research.
Okay. And next question. If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this?
I really wanted to include a timeline that like specifically showed the connection between social media and the child sex trafficking industry. And I think I would have, if I could have done that myself with more time and more research. And that's something that I did want to do, but I just didn't.
You're done.